I teach you the Overman. Man is something that shall be overcome. With these words, the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, through his prophetic figure Zarathustra, presented the world with one of the most provocative and misunderstood concepts in modern philosophy. The Overman, or Übermensch, is not a biological endpoint of evolution, nor a political ideal for a master race, but a spiritual and psychological vision for humanity. It is an answer to a crisis Nietzsche saw looming over the horizon of the Western world, the crisis of meaning that would follow what he famously termed the death of God. To understand the Overman, we must first understand the abyss it was meant to fill. For Nietzsche, the decline of religious faith in the 19th century meant the collapse of the entire moral framework upon which Western civilization had been built for 2 millennia. Without God as the ultimate arbiter of good and evil, humanity was set adrift in a sea of meaninglessness, a state he called nihilism. In this state, man would have no higher purpose to strive for, no transcendent values to guide his actions. The ultimate danger was not chaos, but comfort, not despair, but a descent into apathetic contentment. This pathetic creature is who Nietzsche called the last man, the ultimate antithesis of the Overman. The last man seeks only comfort and security. He takes no risks, dreams no great dreams, and experiences no great suffering or great joy. He is the man who has invented happiness and blinks in passive incomprehension at anything that might challenge his trivial existence. For Nietzsche, the arrival of the last man would be a catastrophe, the moment humanity gives up on its own potential for greatness. The Overman is the antidote to the last man. He is the being who, in the face of a meaningless cosmos, does not shrink into despair, but instead embraces the terrifying freedom it offers. The Overman is a creator of values. He does not inherit his morality from tradition, religion, or society. He forges it himself from the depths of his own being. This creative act is driven by what Nietzsche called the will to power, not a brutish desire for domination over others, but the fundamental drive of all life to grow, expand, and overcome its own limitations. The Overman channels this will inward, engaging in a constant process of self-overcoming. He wages war on his own weaknesses, his own comforts, and his own inherited assumptions. He is a bridge, not an end, a process of becoming, not a static state of being. Central to the psychology of the Overman is the concept of Amor Fati, or the love of fate. The Overman does not merely tolerate his life, he affirms it in its entirety. He embraces the suffering, the struggle, and the pain, not because he is a masochist, but because he understands that these are inseparable from joy, growth, and greatness. He would not have a single moment of his existence altered, for to remove the lowest point would be to diminish the highest. He says yes to life, unconditionally. This affirmation is tested by Nietzsche's thought experiment of the eternal recurrence, the idea that you would have to live your exact life, with all its triumphs and sorrows, over and over again for all eternity. For the last man, this is the ultimate horror. For the Overman, it is the ultimate blessing, for he has lived a life so fully and authentically that he would gladly will its eternal return. It is a profound tragedy of intellectual history that this concept of individual spiritual striving was grotesquely twisted and misappropriated. The Nazi regime co-opted the term Übermensch and warped it into a justification for their ideology of racial supremacy. This was a complete perversion of Nietzsche's thought. The Overman is not a member of a particular race or nation. He is a rare individual who can arise from any people. His superiority is not genetic, but spiritual. He overcomes the mediocrity of the herd, not by dominating it, but by transcending it within himself. Nietzsche, who despised both nationalism and anti-Semitism, would have been horrified by this abuse of his philosophy. The Overman is ultimately a psychological goal, a vision for what humanity could become if it dared to take responsibility for its own meaning. He is the individual who has integrated his own chaos, who has stared into the abyss of nihilism and emerged not broken, but strengthened, ready to dance and to create. He is a testament to the idea that the purpose of human life is not to find meaning, but to create it. As Zarathustra proclaims, the Overman is the meaning of the earth. He is the promise that even without gods in the heavens, humanity can still look upwards towards a future of its own making. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can support the channel on Patreon or by liking, commenting, or sharing the content. Thank you for watching.